హలో తమన్నా గారు, వెల్కమ్ టు గుల్టే. ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
బాగున్నాను, మీరు ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
సూపర్గా ఉన్నాను. కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్ ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్, 20 years, 2005.
యా,
నమ్మశక్యంగా ఉందా? ఇస్ ఇట్ బిలీవబుల్?
ఆనెస్ట్గా చెప్పాలంటే ఒక్కొక్కసారి ఇది నిన్న కదా స్టార్ట్ అయ్యాము అని అనిపిస్తుంది, అండ్ ఒక్కొక్కసారి చాలా టైం అయిపోయింది అలా అలా అనిపిస్తుంది. సో ఇట్స్ హార్డ్ టు టెల్. యా, ఇట్స్ అ వియర్డ్ ఫీలింగ్.
I have a what do you call relationship question, but not a relationship question. 20 years నుంచి మీరు కెమెరాస్తో ఉన్నారు. 20 years నుంచి కెమెరాస్ మిమ్మల్ని చూస్తూ ఉన్నాయి. మూవీస్లో కావచ్చు, ప్రమోషన్స్కి కావచ్చు, ప్యాప్స్ కావచ్చు. ఎప్పుడు కూడా యూ హ్యావ్ బీన్ ఇన్ ద ఫోకస్ కదా. వాట్ ఈస్ యువర్ రిలేషన్షిప్ విత్ కెమెరాస్ లైక్ ఆఫ్టర్ 20 years?
I think this is one place where, as an actor, we have to be extremely bare. And I think మేము ఒంటరిగా ఎలా ఉంటామో అంత ట్రాన్స్పరెంట్గా కెమెరా ముందు ఉండాల్సి వస్తుంది. సో ఐ ఫీల్ లైక్ మై జర్నీ హెస్ లార్జ్లీ బిన్ ట్రయింగ్ టు మేక్ మై సెల్ఫ్ more and more transparent in front of the camera and not hold back. కొంచెం అన్అపాలజెటిక్గా ఎలా ఫీల్ అవుతున్నాను, ఎలా ఏం ఆలోచిస్తున్నాను అవన్నీ కొంచెం ఫ్రీగా కెమెరా ముందు ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేద్దామని that's my attempt, that's my constant endeavor.
ఓకే. అండ్ 20 years ఒక పని చేస్తున్నారు. ఐమ్ సో సారీ ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ రిమైండింగ్ యూ దట్ 2020 అంటే 3/4 ఆఫ్ యువర్ లైఫ్ మీరు వర్క్ చేస్తూ స్పెండ్ చేశారు కదా. దట్స్ లైక్ మ్యాసివ్. 3/4 ఆఫ్ యువర్ లైఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ బీన్ యాక్టింగ్. సో ఒక 15-year-old తమన్నా యాక్టింగ్ చూసిన విధానానికి, ఒక 25-year-old తమన్నా యాక్టింగ్ని చూసిన విధానానికి, ఇప్పుడు మీరు యాక్టింగ్ ఇప్పుడు ఆఫ్టర్ అక్యుములేటింగ్ ఈ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ అన్నిటిని ఇప్పుడు అక్యుములేట్ చేసుకుని ఇప్పుడు యాక్టింగ్ని చూసే విధానానికి, ఆ పర్స్పెక్టివ్కి, ఆ అప్రోచ్కి ఏం తేడా మీరు నోటీస్ చేశారు ఈ 3 phases-లో?
I think, when you start that young, you still don't even understand yourself completely. So that time you're literally almost like learning how to romance undalante ela, siggu padalante ela padali, హ్యాపీగా ఉండాలంటే సినిమాలో అలా హ్యాపీగా పడతారు, అవన్నీ చూసి నేర్చుకుంటాము. అండ్ ఆనెస్ట్గా చెప్పాలంటే మేము ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయడమే మా సరౌండింగ్స్ని చూసి నేర్చుకుంటాము. సో యాక్టింగ్ యాక్చువల్లీ లైఫ్ నుంచి బాగా డిఫరెంట్ అనేది కాదు,
రిఫ్లెక్షన్ ఓన్లీ.
యా. సో బట్ ఐ థింక్ ఇనిషియల్లీ ఇట్ వాజ్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ వాట్స్ గోయింగ్ ఆన్, సినిమాల నుంచి ఇన్స్పైర్ అయ్యి అలాంటి ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ కానీ అలాంటి యాక్టింగ్ కానీ ఐ థింక్ చేశాను వెన్ ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ ఆఫ్.
బికాజ్ బాలీవుడ్ మూవీస్ చూసే మీరు యాక్టర్ అయ్యానన్నారు కాబట్టి.
బట్ యాజ్ ఐ grew up while performing in front of the camera, I think I started to figure that నేను ఒక మీడియం లాగా, అండ్ నేను ఒక మంచి మీడియం అవ్వాలి to communicate a character, to communicate a story. So I just started to try to become a better medium. And by that I feel like మేము ఎక్కువ ఏది దాంతో మేము ఐడెంటిఫై అవ్వకపోతే ఇట్స్ ఈజియర్ టు గెట్ ఇన్ టు సంథింగ్ ఎల్స్.
Identify in the sense not able to identify with the character or the emotion, something like that?
I feel like as individuals we have to completely forget our own identity, whatever we identify with, and then try to sort of express whatever the character is putting out. But interestingly, at the end, it is your perspective of the character. Of course, a director is giving you sort of a story and a framework to work within. But అది ఉన్నా కూడా at the end ఒక యాక్టర్గా మీరు ఏ చాయిసెస్ వాడుతున్నారు ఒక విషయంని ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేసుకోవడానికి, అది మీ గురించి ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్లీ ఏదో చెప్తూ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ అదే ఆడియన్స్ కనెక్ట్ అవుతారు. అంటే వి టాక్ అబౌట్ వాట్ ఈస్ దర్ ఎక్స్ ఫ్యాక్టర్, వాళ్ళకి ఏం నచ్చుతుంది, దానికి మేము లాజికల్గా ఏమీ ఆన్సర్ ఇవ్వలేము. బట్ ఐ థింక్ ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ దట్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ దట్ దే లైక్, or that side of you that they like, which is not able, as an actor you're not able to filter that in your performances.
Right. So unlearning అనేది ఒకటి ఉన్నింది from the initial phase.
Yeah, I think a lot of letting go, a lot of the ideas that one has as a kid, And also, I think from 15 to 25 to now 30, I definitely have evolved as a person. And most of the times I keep joking with my friends that I don't even recognize my 20-year-old self. I don't recognize that person only. I feel like a completely new person. And I feel like that happens to me every 5-6 years. I evolve and become a new person. And I feel like that's very important. We all have to sort of, if at all there's a best version of ourselves, to arrive at that, an evolution must happen.
Yeah. Eppudanna did you ever fall out of love with acting or say this is getting too monotonous? Eppudanna aa phase uninda?
No. I didn't even have, I never had even one moment.
Great.
One moment. But I did have a feeling of maybe my approach to it was getting, like I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again and I wasn't excited doing that.
Right.
Which is why I think, like pre-COVID, I remember, I was in a film set and I was feeling like I don't even feel any of the lines I am saying. And then I was like, no, I need to like maybe do something different and choose differently, do different kind of characters. And appudu cinema actors were not exploring OTT at that point of time. So pre-COVID, I did a show called November Story, which actually released in COVID.
Hotstar.
Oh,
adi pre-COVID lo accept chesina story.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, but it came out during because it was incidentally ready and they could showcase it. So yeah.
So ఆ రకంగా లాంగ్ ఫామ్ మీకు చాలా లిబర్టీ ఇచ్చింది కదా?
Yeah, it gave me a chance to do characters that maybe in the format of cinema are not possible to attempt because they don't fit into commercial norms of cinema. And I think post-COVID especially, community viewing అనేది మారిపోయింది బాగా. అంటే ఒక సినిమా థియేటర్కి ఎందుకు వెళ్తున్నాం అనేది ఆ వై అనేది మారిపోయింది. అండ్ ఎన్ని ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు, ఫోన్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు, మన యూజ్ చేసిన గ్యాజెట్స్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు మేము సినిమా థియేటర్కి ఎందుకు వెళ్తామనేది ఆ రీజన్ చేంజ్ అవ్వడం వల్ల మీరు బిగ్ స్క్రీన్లో చూసిన పాత్రలు కూడా మారుతున్నాయి
చాలా.
సో యా, వీ హ్యాడ్ టు కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అడాప్ట్ అండ్ మూవ్ అండ్ చేంజ్.
స్పీకింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఎవల్యూషన్ అండ్ అడాప్షన్ అండ్ ఎలా క్యారెక్టర్స్ మారుతున్నాయో, ఐ వాస్ టాకింగ్ టు కాజల్ అగర్వాల్ అండ్ ఇయర్ అగో అండ్ ఆవిడ చెప్పింది నాకు చాలా వాట్ యూ కాల్ ఇన్స్పైరింగ్ అనిపించింది. వాట్ షీ సెడ్ ఈస్ దాట్ ఇన్ 2000s and 2010s, you know how commercial cinema was like women wouldn't get that meaty roles. No disrespect to that kind of cinema, but it is what it is. So Kajal was telling me that there were times where she wasn't agreeing with that scene or dialogue or the action that was being performed, and avida director దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి చెప్పేవాళ్ళంట that see this is not nice, I don't like it, but nobody would listen to her. So she had to do despite not accepting or agreeing or resonating with whatever was being shot. She said that now she has the agency. Now she has that what do you call, authority might be a too strong of word. Now she has the agency to put her foot down and say, okay boss, I'm not gonna do this. This is not okay. Is that a sentiment that you resonate with? Because you also have traveled for a very long time and you have seen how paths for women are being used to be written and now how they are being written.
Fortunately, when this is something that I think I experienced since I was a kid. I have utmost respect for my ecosystem. Like, I think that is for me priority. I feel like, and this is something I keep saying because I firmly believe in it, if you have to change anything in your system, you have to be a part of the system. And that's the only way you can bring about any change. Because
by ecosystem, you mean the filmmaking ecosystem?
Your filmmaking ecosystem. And I never look down upon any aspect of it because I feel like if there is any change that must happen, it's on a very individual level. In my case, if I ever was at a point where I didn't associate with the with the scene, I would always talk to the filmmaker and find a way. And I feel like as actors, when we give people problems, it's a roadblock. But if someone hires me as an actor and brings me onto a job, my job is not to just give him problems. My job is also to give him solutions.
Right.
So when I would go onto a set, and if I don't associate with something, I'd be like, okay, we don't want to do it like this, but can we do it like this? So I think that's what is very important as actors today, that when we come on board to any project, and I still do it all the time, because that's how improvisations happen. That's how scenes get better. That's how something becomes your own. That's how there are layers in something. So I feel like that's something I did even when I was very, very young.
Can you give an example, like a healthy example?
I won't have a very vivid memory of anything, but I think I did a film called Kande Kadalai, which was a Tamil film that I had done.
It's a remake of
it was
Jab
a remake
We
of Jab We Met. Now the idea, I was the only Hindi speaking person on that set, and Bharat actually understood a good part of Hindi, and our director did not speak Hindi. So we were sitting and just translating the dialogues for him so that we would make sure, and then by then I had started to understand Tamil also. So I was constantly juggling between trying to make sure that we are not misrepresenting the film that we are remaking.
Right.
So we constantly kept going back to the original script, and we were like, oh sir, this means this. And and we had to also adapt it to Tamil culture. We were eventually adapting the film to suit Tamil culture also. So yeah, I think that was we were like assistant directors on set. We were sitting and writing and translating things. So this is one way of maybe like addressing, and that's if one person on set cannot understand something, it's the job of the rest of the people, and that's why films are teamwork. Films have always been called, whenever you credit films, people always come up on stage and credit the entire cast and crew, because one person can't do it. It's
collaborative effort.
It's a collaborative sort of space.
Nice. Recently, a couple of days back, you were attending a press meet of Odela 2, and someone asked a question, and I don't mean it in a bad faith to that journalist or any, I don't want controversy, but my question is, someone asked, Milky Beauty lo Shiva Shaktini ela chusaru. And I keep noticing this, that every time whenever somebody sends us a PR note, not just with you, but any other actors or anything, when we get a PR note, the adjectives that they use for actresses is often attributed to their physical appearance.
Yeah.
It is scintillating or gorgeous or something like that. But for men, it is different. And obviously you, Milky Beauty, that has always been a tag.
Correct.
And I'm sure there is some validation in that also. But did you ever feel that the roles that you were getting were being confined to your beauty?
I think Milky Beauty, it started from, fans. So it's a very sweet title that came from fans, and it's how they addressed me.
Yeah.
Of course, media picked it up, and then it became just a title that people used. But I don't think it confined my choices at all.
Not choices, but the opportunities that, how the way people looked at you. Oh, great.
I think that's what I'm saying. Like I just don't like to be in a victim mode and say, oh, I didn't get opportunities because I'm so beautiful and all of that. That's just very, I don't know, it's strange. I feel like we are in a visual medium, and we want things to look aesthetic. So that we constantly strive for. But storytelling can be achieved through many different ways, and I think that's why I started to opt for different. I never confined myself to a certain language.
You did do something like a Dharmadurai, I've
done Usarvalli. I've done a lot of, and I stuck to the commercial framework. Even Kannai Kalai Mane, which is again a Tamil film, which was very which was rurally set.
Yeah.
I feel like even my performance-oriented projects were in a commercial framework. Because I feel like when you want to say something really impactful and strong, actually you need to say it through commercial cinemas, which is why we are also doing Odela 2, when it's it's story of the Palatur Besaina cinema. And in fact, Odela is a place where Sampath Garu has grown up, and and he is from Odela, actually, schooled there. And ఆయన చిన్నప్పుడు శివశక్తి అమ్మాయిల్ని actually he's seen them. He's actually experienced them in his village. And I think he had a very vivid memory from childhood. And danni petkoni, when he was writing the script, he said, I want to have, you know, I mean, how many filmmakers will think of having this kind of a woman as their protagonist?
First time, this is the first, I think.
Yeah, and which is so interesting because we're used to seeing, okay, doctor ga chusamu, you know, police ga chusamu, different, it's a representation, right? We're representing different kind of women in society. So it's very nice and very interesting to use this kind of a character. I think Abbailki still ilanti oka glorified presentation anedi untadi, but Amailki asalu I don't think in there are not so many opportunities that come. So I love the fact that Sampath Garu thought of you know, giving me the part of a Shiva Shakti.
So is Tamannaah getting those slow motion, low angle mass shots in
Udayana too? You're going to get a lot of those.
Nice. How was it like?
It's great. It's I think it's also sometimes really difficult because it's non-verbal. ఏమి చెప్పకుండా ఏమి చేయకుండా మీరు ఏదైనా ముందు ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి ఏదైనా అనుభవించాలంటే ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ అ వైబ్ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఎంబాడీ.
ఆరా అంటారు కదా,
ఆరా, whatever you can call it, vibe you can call it, aura, whatever you
ఆరా
like
ఈ
to
మధ్య
call it.
సోషల్ మీడియాలో చాలా ట్రెండ్ అవుతుంది అన్నమాట.
Possibly. So yeah, I think just using that to communicate something, the custom. So it was interesting playing this part because there was a lot of time that I can't really do anything physical or anything that is particular, but I have to communicate something.
Like you mean there is no physical action or say you're just standing and still you have to communicate.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you crack it?
I think that's the thing with intelligent filmmaking, where you don't underestimate your audiences, and you understand that they're smart enough to read between the lines, and you don't have to spoon feed your audiences. And I think a very big aspect of films like this, a very important character actually in such films, is also the music. And we have Ajneesh sir, who is, you know, after Kantara, I think people really understand what he brings to the table when it comes to music. And I feel like his strength lies in the re-recording that he does and the kind of theme musics that he brings, which actually makes you feel so much. So when you shoot films like this, inevitably there's also a music that one keeps in mind to perform stuff like that, because you understand there's going to be a lot of elevation with music. So you don't technically, you actually must not excessively emote, because a lot of it will also be bought through music. So that balance is something that one understands when you know, either you watch films like that and you understand what is the technique behind it. So it's actually fun attempting stuff like this.
Nice. So what is the equation with Sampath Nandi like? Because frequent collaborator, and it's been like a long collaboration, like 3 feature films, and now this is
our fourth collaboration.
Fourth one, and the first one happened in 2012.
Yeah.
So it's been like a long thing, and I believe that beyond those creative alignments, if 2 people have to work together for such a long time, there has to be some sort of friendship as well, right? So what is that like with Mr. Sampath?
It's interesting. We never had any, we never really met off set, but I think sometimes you just creatively you see each other, and I feel like that's a lot more intimate and understanding than maybe you might never pick up the phone on each other and have long conversations. But you know, when you work together, the other person sees you for who you are and you see them for who they are. And I feel like that is the best kind of you know, a creative environment to be in, and it's so creatively satisfying.
It's mentally connected
it's
in a
it's
way.
A total. And whenever he's told me a story, I see how it has the ability to reach. And he's somebody who's been very good with writing and screenplay. And we don't have many directors now who write and direct. But he's one of the very strong directors who actually writes and directs and has that control over understanding what is the impact dialogues will have on people. So I've always loved how his screenplay went. And in fact, I learned a lot about screenplay while working with him. and storytelling.
Okay.
Because I always felt like it was never about how brilliant the story is. Sometimes the story is very simple and a single line thing, but I think his ability to tell the story and grip you with it is what was very interesting for me to learn, because I also use that in many other films of mine. Just that understanding of how you can use screenplay to hook somebody.
Nice. What would be an advice from Tamannaah to young women who are starting out in a creative field like this? You have seen it all, right? So
it's so individual, Ram. It's so funny, but it's so individual. I think when I started, there was very little information.
Yeah.
I literally had nothing to. I remember using a cassette, to hear a song over and over again and rehearse by putting on off, which today's generation doesn't have that burden of
these logistical issues.
Logistical issues are literally not there. So there's a lot that they have at their disposal in terms of exposure. I think it's good to expose yourself to everything that's happening around the world, so that you know what is it that you gravitate towards. I think for an artist, there's too much emphasis on being talented, and there's too much of emphasis on being hardworking. But I feel like what's really important is మీరు ఒక విషయాన్ని ఎలా చూస్తున్నారో ఆ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ అనేది చాలా చాలా ముఖ్యం, అండ్ అది టైంతోనే డెవలప్ అవుతుంది. సో ఐ ఫీల్ లైక్ దాని మీద పనిచేస్తూ ఉంటే ఐ థింక్ we would make better actors. So yeah.
Superb. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And all the very best for Odela 2. Looking forward to watching it on April.
Please watch it on 17th April.
On the big screens.
On the big screens, theaters next to you. Please andaru velli mee family tho paatu ee cinema chudandi. It's a wonderful theatrical. It's absolutely an experience to watch. So please go enjoy it with your family.
So we have a little present for you.
Yes.
Kaushik, get that. We made a little thing for you.
Okay. So
from
sweet.
our side. No, it's a little token.
That's cute.
Ichese akkada. Go there and give it.
Hi. How are you?
So he's a designer.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Would you want me to see it
right now? Yeah, please.
Okay.
Cover this.
Oh wow. That's so beautiful. Thank you.
Some of your best roles.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so cool. If you guys want to see what they gave me. Okay, let me tilt it for you. Better?
Superb. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ram. Thank you.